And good afternoon and welcome to Poway High School as we get set for the CIF San Diego Section Division I Boys Baseball Championships between the number 1 seed Granite Hills Eagles and the number 2 seed Point Loma Pointers. I'm Jonah Malkin, delighted to be with you on a Saturday afternoon in San Diego. Championship weekend in San Diego and Granite Hills. Let's take a listen to the starting lineups. The first, second, and third batters. Austin Smith playing center field in today's game, playing number 8, number 3, and in the 2 spot, Hudson Beeman. In the 3 spot, Grant MacArthur. Number 4 is Ethan McNish-Hyder. In the middle half of the order, number 5, Camden Sos. 6 is Tanner Vielguth, and playing 7th at the bottom, Cody Messias, and rounding out the bottom, number 8, Alex Jabad, and number 9, James Taylor. They're led by their head coach, James Davis, in his 20th season. Just a fantastic job guiding this Granite Hills Eagles team to a 24-10 overall record. And their opponent, number 2, Point Loma and the Pointers. Duke Ekstrom will get the ball to start, playing left field for Point Loma. Or rather, actually, I should say, playing left field for Granite Hills. I know they will say, yeah, Granite Hills is the designated home team. So Duke Ekstrom will be leading off. And by the way, apologies for the graphic. We have a basketball graphic, but it should be a baseball graphic here. But for Point Loma and the Pointers, 20-12 on the season. Noah Ponciano getting the game ball to start. Out in left field is John the Jet Taylor. Out in center, or James Taylor rather, excuse me. In center is Austin Smith. Out in right is Alex Jabad. At third base is Grant MacArthur. In shortstop is Camden Sos. Second base is Hudson Beeman, and first base is Tanner Vielguth, and Cody Messias behind the dish for Granite Hills. Noah Ponciano getting the start for the Eagles today. The senior, 5'8" on the season, making senior sporting an 8-4 record on the season, making his 15th appearance with a 1.06 ERA is Noah Ponciano. 1, 2, and 3 batters. 4 Point Loma, Deuce Gorson, Kian Vu, Corbin Chianello. And the middle of the order, Matthew Nunes. Duke Ekstrom playing the DH and the pitching spot, Aiden Rigel. And in the bottom of the order, Nick Garcia, Ruben Guzman, and John Jet Taylor. This is just the third all-time meeting between both of these two schools. 1-1 is their record. Granite Hills against Point Loma, 1-1. They actually beat the Pointers earlier this year, 5-0, back in April 12th of this past season. They lost last year in March 10-6. They won 5-0 earlier this year. But none more important than in this spot at the moment, So Deuce Gorson will step in for Point Loma, the senior, 6'2", 190, batting .449 on the season. First pitch misses low for ball one. Selected as an all-star this past season is Gorson. That will take place at Petco Park in a couple of weeks. And the 1-0 catches the inside part of the zone for strike one. So 1-1 the count to Deuce Gorson. Ponciano deals and gets him swinging for strike two. 1-2. And Noah Ponciano also earning that all-star selection and that nod. One of two players out of Granite Hills. And the 1-2 drifts away on the outside, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pointers number 9 in the CIF San Diego section, but their ranking doesn't really reflect the type of season that they've had. The 2-2 misses below the belt, and it's a full count. So 3-2 to Deuce Gorson. Ponciano gets the sign and deals, and this one's ripped foul down the first base line, so we'll do it again. Pointers in the abbreviated season last year sported a 6-1 record. Really had a great season, all things considered, and obviously got upended with COVID, but they were on their way. And speaking to Coach Jeff Solis, as the payoff pitch again is fouled back above our heads in the press box. Speaking to Coach Solis, really talked about building on that momentum from a season ago and trying to use that to carry into this season, and that has certainly worked wonders thus far. So the payoff pitch from Ponciano sets and fires, and this one misses high and outside. So Deuce Gorson able to draw a leadoff walk to start things off in the top of the first.
Now batting is Pointers number 9, center fielder Keon Vu.
And Keon Vu in the second spot. We'll try and advance Deuce Gorson. And Keon Vu, just a junior, 5'11", 170. He's played in 32 games this year, batting .304 on the season. Gorson over at first, takes a couple steps off the bag. Ponciano deals, and it catches the outside part of the zone for 0-1. Good strike from Noah Ponciano. He's been stellar, sporting an 8-4 record this season. The 0-1 drifts high and away, and it's 1-1. For Ponciano, 1.06 ERA in 79 innings pitched. Has struck out 97 on the season. Closing in on 100. Ponciano takes the sign, deals the 1-1, and it's a good fastball, misses high and away, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Second meeting between these two teams over the last 2 weeks. Pointers coming off a win over Poway, 6-1, who's hosting this CIF Division I Boys Championship. And this one is ripped to first. The throw to second, that's 1 out, and they can't get the double play. And now Vu will try and advance to second, and he does on the error. So advance to first on a fielder's choice, and then advance to second on the error from Sos.
Now batting for the Pointers, number 20, the right fielder.
So they throw out Deuce Gorson for out number 1. Keon Vu's scoots over to second, and the Pointers, to start the top half of the first, have a runner in scoring position. Ponciano was able to induce the ground ball, but it could not result in a double play. So 1 out, 1 on. In the top of the first, Corbin Chianello, playing right field in today's game, will step in. The right-hander watches the fastball sail upstairs for 1 ball and 0 strikes. Gianello batting .284 on the season, 88 at-bats, 14 runs, 25 hits. The 0-1 misses low below the strike zone for 1-1. This is a Point Loma Pointers team that bats .268 on the season, but those numbers have spiked towards the later half of the year. 1-1. This one's ripped down into left field. This one's going back, and it hits the wall. It'll bounce off. Rounding third and coming home to score is Vu, and Corbin Gianello delivers a one-run double. An RBI for Corbin Gianello brings in Vu, who comes in to score. Again, Vu reached second base after a fielder's choice and then advanced to second off the air from Sos. And just like that, 1-0 in the top half of the first. And now Matthew Nunes steps in. Pointers up 1-0 with Gianello over at second base, and he'll take a crack at the first pitch and gets nothing but air, and it's 0-1. Ponciano this season has given up now 25 runs, but only 12 of them have been earned. So he's done a pretty good job limiting the damage, but he's given up a double now. Check swing goes to second. Beeman is there, and he'll make the play to Vilguth over at first for out number 2. Gianello will advance to third, and there's 2 up in the top of the first.
Now batting for the Pointers, the pitcher, number 14, the Ekstrom.
So Nunes is out on the 4-3 putout. And Duke Ekstrom playing DH as well as the starting pitcher will step in. Curveball catches the bottom part of the zone for strike 1. Filthy curveball from Ponciano. Again, approaching 100 strikeouts on the season, still at 99. He's faced over 333 batters this year. And the 0-1 is ripped into right center field. That's fair. An RBI single brings Gianello home for the second score of the inning. And Ekstrom over at first. It's 2-0 for the Pointers to start this top of the first.
Now batting for the Pointers, number 15, the left fielder.
Kian Vu scored. Corbin Gianello came in as well. And the second hit leads to the second run at the top of the first. And now Aiden Reigel to step in the bottom part of the mid-order in the number 6 spot. He'll take a crack at the first swing. It's a foul ball that drifts high and towards the right side for 0-1. Aiden Reigel, a junior, 2 home runs on the season, batting .208 on the year. 0-1 from Ponciano. It's a curveball that's hit softly up the middle. Sos will tag the base at second, and that'll end what was a 2-run top of the first for the Pointers. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. You're listening to the CIF San Diego Section Division I Boys Baseball Championships, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Bottom half of the first inning coming up when we return. And welcome back to Poway High School. I'm Jonah Malkin. You are listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section Baseball Division I Boys Championships, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Bottom half of the first, Point Loma and the Pointers scored 2 runs in the top half of the inning behind an RBI double from Corbin Chianello and an RBI single from Duke Ekstrom, who's also pitching in today's game. Beautiful 82 degrees in San Diego. Point Loma Pointers, the number 2 seed, taking on the number 1 seed Granite Hills Eagles. And Austin Smith, the leadoff hitter for the Eagles, will step in and watch a fastball just miss the outside for 1 ball. And Austin Smith, what a season that he has had. Committed to UC San Diego, but could forego that to play in the pros. 1-0 pitch, misses below the belt for 2-0. Selected to the All-Star game that will take place at Petco Park. The 3rd time that the San Diego section All-Star game will take place at the designated home of the Padres. And the 2-0 misses way inside. Smith had to back up to try and avoid it, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Good opportunity here for Smith to either take a pitch or let it go. And he'll watch a fastball right down the main street for 3 balls and 1 strike. Nobody away, bottom half of the first inning. The Eagles, number 6 in the CIF San Diego section, 3-1, gets away from extra, misses outside, and it's a 5-pitch walk to Austin Smith. So Hudson Beeman now will step in. Grant MacArthur on deck. 1, 2, and 3 batters for Granite Hills and the Eagles. Hudson Beeman, a junior, also having a great season. Watches a curveball cut inside for 0-1. Batting .333 on the season, 14 runs, 10 RBIs, and 2 doubles. So Smith takes a small lead over at first base. Ekstrom will check him, force him to go back. Granite Hills coming off a win over Westview 12-7 in the semifinals 2 days ago. He shows bunt. This one pops up towards the third base line, and it trickles foul territory. So Beeman will try it again, was looking to advance Austin Smith with that speed over to second. The Eagles this season have stolen 36 bases on the year, which surprisingly, as strong of a showing and number as that is, the Pointers have stolen 47 bases this past season. 0-2 curveball hit softly up the middle. It's collected by Gorson and able to toss out to Guzman. So they toss out Austin Smith. The 6-4 putout puts 1 away, and Beeman will advance to first on the fielder's choice. So 1 out in the bottom half of the first inning. Grant MacArthur, the 3rd baseman, will step in. Ekstrom on the mound for the Point Loma Pointers. Curveball is fouled into right foul territory. 0-1.
All foul balls to the nearest dugout.
Cody Messias, the catcher, behind the dish. No balls, 1 strike. Inside fastball clips the barrel of the bat, so it's 0-2 to Grant MacArthur. playing first base today. Batting .390. And 0-2, he'll foul it away. It was a fastball. Yeah, appreciate you joining us here on the CIF San Diego section stream. 2-0. Pointers up over the Eagles. Bottom of the first. Fastball misses outside, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Austin Smith over at first, or excuse me, Hudson Beeman over at first. Austin Smith was thrown out trying to advance to second after he drew a 5-pitch walk. So Grant MacArthur will dig back in. Another throw over to first from Ekstrom to hold off Beeman from taking a glance at second. And the 1-2. Hit hardly to short, 1 out to second. The double play to first, not in time. But they get the 6-4 throw out of Beeman. And back-to-back fielder's choices. And Grant MacArthur's on at first on a fielder's choice. But no hits given up so far
Now batting for the Eagles,
by Duke Ekstrom.
Number 22, Ethan McNeish-Hyder.
And Ethan McNeish-Hyder steps in and takes a strike right down the middle. 1 on, 2 out. Bottom of the first. Ethan and McNeish-Hyder will dig in. Watch as the 0-1. It's a half swing that fouls out of play down the first base line. And it's 0-2. Junior, 6'3", batting .371 on the year. And 0-2, cut on and missed for strike 3. Down goes McNeish-Hyder. And Duke Ekstrom registers his first K of the afternoon. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. You are listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section Baseball Division I Boys Championships. Point Loma Pointers up 2-0 over Granite Hills and the Eagles. Top half of the second. 7, 8, and 9 batters due up for the Pointers when we return. Top of the second inning as we welcome you back to Poway High School. You are listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section baseball rather, Boys Division I Championships. Number 1 seed Granite Hills and the Eagles taking on number 2 seed Point Loma and the Pointers. Nick Garcia steps in and takes a strike. Noah Ponciano out for his second inning of work, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned in the top of the first inning. Deals a curveball that's fouled out of play towards the right side. And all of a sudden, it's 0-2 to Nick Garcia. Just a sophomore playing in a big spot. Has been given a good cushion, though, This top of the second. Fastball sails upstairs for 1-2. Kian Vu scored on an RBI double from Chianello as the 1-2 is taken on the inside for strike 3. Garcia didn't even take an attempt at it. So Ponciano rings him up for his first strikeout of the afternoon. And now Ruben Guzman, playing second base, will step in. Ponciano takes the sign, deals a fastball down the middle for strike 1. 0-1 the count. 2-0. 2-seeded Pointers up over the 1-seeded Eagles. Ponciano deals and fires a curveball that drops in on the inside corner for 0-2. Cody Messias behind the dish. MacArthur at third. Sosa at short. Beeman at second. And Vilguth at first. And an off-speed pitch got him swinging. And the 2-3 put out from Messias to Vilguth will put 2 up on the board. So now John the Jet Taylor will step in the 9th spot in today's game. Pointers were able to get 2 hits in the top of the first. And the first pitch is taken for a strike on the outside, a fastball, clipping the outside corner. So 0-1. And the pitch misses below the belt. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch ripped down the third base line, and it just drifts out of play. John Taylor had a good rip on that one. The second baseman having also just a fantastic season. Just 2 RBIs and 26 at-bats, but again, the presence and the size, bit intimidating to an opposing pitcher. Ponciano deals a breaking ball that misses inside, and it's 2-2. So here we go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ponciano fastball, and it is crunched foul down the third base line and out of play, drifting over the head of the Eagles dugout. The Pointers beat Helix, the 10 seed in the first round, and then they beat Poway 2 out of 3 times to advance to this championship game. 1-2 is hit foul again, and so we'll bring it right back to 1-2. Nick Garcia led things off by being struck out. Guzman on a 2-3 putout was called out, and a 1-2 curveball just misses outside. Eagles thought he got him, and it clipped the zone. Umpire said not so fast. So it's a full count to John Taylor. Trying to get to first, and Ponciano struck him out. Second strikeout of the inning for Noah Ponciano. And there are no hits, no runs, no errors, and nobody left on base. 2-0 is the score as we head into the bottom of the second inning. 5, 6, and 7 batters due up for Granite Hills when we return. You're listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section Boys Baseball Division I Championship. 5, 6, and 7 batters due up for the Eagles. Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to the CIF Prep Insider San Diego section Boys Baseball Division I Championship. I'm Jonah Malkin, delighted to be with you here from Poway High School in San Diego, California. A hot one in SoCal, 82 degrees. Duke Ekstrom going up to begin his second inning of work. He struck out one his first time up, and Camden Sos, who will lead off the Eagles for the bottom of the second inning, takes a ball on the outside. So 1 ball, no strikes. Ekstrom fastball skins the middle of the plate, and it's 1-1. He was fantastic in that first inning. And Camden Sos will flex one right down the middle for a leadoff single. And Camden Sos playing shortstop on for the first hit of the ball game for the Eagles. So good start for them in the bottom half of the second inning. This is a team that has averaged .314, their batting average on the season. 23 home runs, 63 doubles, 304 hits as Ekstrom will throw over to first. Sos hangs on, had a big lead over at first base. 2-0 for the 2-seeded Pointers over the 1-seeded Eagles. Ekstrom, fastball in the dirt, the throw over to first. He'll take off, and it's a 3-4 putout. So Sos was caught stealing after the fastball from Ekstrom was in the dirt. And a good heads-up play by the Pointers to throw him out. So 1 gone in the bottom of the second inning. And now Tanner Vielguth will step in. Batting .289 on the season, 28 hits, 16 RBIs. Fastball sails off the plate. And now 3 balls and no strikes to Tanner Vielguth. Ekstrom misses again. So now they'll say it was 3 balls. They said it was at 2 balls. So now it's 3-0 is the count. 1 out, bottom of the second. Vielguth steps in and takes a strike. Fastball over the middle. And it's 3-1. Eagles lost to Grossmont in the semifinals last year, 7-5. They were 1 win away from reaching this position. 3-1 slider misses off, and it's a walk. Tanner Vielguth able to draw a 5-pitch walk. And the Eagles have a man aboard. Again, Camden Sos was caught stealing after the wild pitch gave him a glimpse of hope to take a chance at second. And Nunes threw him out to Guzman. And now Cody Messias, playing behind the dish for the Eagles, steps in and watches a fastball clip the outside corner for a strike. The junior 5'9", also having a really productive season, 24 hits on the year. Big in stature, the right-hander watches the second pitch miss out low and outside. And it's 1-1. Alex Jabad waiting on deck. And Ekstrom's fastball down the middle for 1-2. 9 appearances, a 1.95 ERA for the sophomore Duke Ekstrom, so only upside from here. Takes the sign from Garcia and deals the 1-2 fastball again, misses away, and it's 2-2. John Taylor playing at third. Deuce Gorson playing at second. Ruben Guzman playing, or Gorson, excuse me, playing at short. Guzman playing at second. Nunes playing at first. And it's a base hit into right field for Cody Messias. Just got it past Guzman. So Vielguth will advance to second, and Messias is on. So 2 players on for the Eagles with a runner in scoring position. 1 out in the bottom half of the second inning. And now Alex Jabad in the designated 8th spot will step in for his first plate appearance today. This afternoon, again, this is game 1 of 2 that will be brought to you. The Open Division Boys Championships is coming up at 7 p.m. Ekstrom, fastball gets away with him, goes upstairs, and it's 1-0. Eagles faithful starting to be a little bit more vocal in the bleachers to the right and the left of us. Great atmosphere for baseball with summer in full swing. COVID seems to be behind us. The 1-2 throw over from Garcia goes over the head of Gorson, but they're able to check Sos over at second, or Vielguth over at second, pardon me. Could have been a costly error from Garcia, and instead they're able to hold up Vielguth at second. And it's 2-0 the count. The Eagles already have a runner in scoring position, but it could have brought Vielguth just 90 feet away from home plate. Instead, he'll have to stay over at second. So Ekstrom takes the sign from Garcia. And in the outfield, by the way, over in left field is Aiden Rigel. 2-0 misses low and outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Kian Vu in center field. And Alex Jabad playing right field. Or rather, Corbin Chianello, pardon me, playing right field for the Pointers. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 on for the Eagles. And a fastball is a wild pitch, gets past Garcia. It's a walk anyway. So the bases now are loaded for James Taylor at the bottom of the order.
Now batting left fielder number 15, James Taylor.
Vielguth at third, Messias at second, and Jabad over at first base. And now James Taylor steps in. So a couple erratic throws from Ekstrom got away from Garcia, and they were fortunate the first time to hold up Messias at second, but not so favorable the third this past time. Bases loaded for Granite Hills and the Eagles. Overall, sporting a 325 and 187 record and sporting their white pinstripe jerseys with their Columbia blue letters and numbers. Point Loma sporting their dark maroon jerseys with gold numbers and letters. Eagles have the bases loaded. 1 out. Fastball taken at the knees for strike 1. Good response from Duke Ekstrom. Vielguth at third. Messias at second, and Jabad at first. And he'll call for time. Taylor will step off the bag. And now we'll step back into the batter's box. Just 1 hit for the Eagles, and that's a fastball cut on and missed for strike 2. So 0-2, and not the worst position to be in. If you're the Pointers, you can induce a ground ball that could lead to a double play. The base is loaded. The infield is pinching in. Potential opportunity for a force out. Curveball. High chopper up the middle. It's gloved. 1 out to second, and a dangerous slide prevents Guzman from making a play to first. Gorson with the tag out. Guzman could not complete the double play, but it's a sacrifice hit that brings in a run. So Vielguth will score. Messias advances to third, and Jabad is tagged out at second. Taylor reaches on a fielder's choice and a sacrifice RBI. And now we go back to the top of the order with Austin Smith. The southpaw fouls it back against the screen for 0-1. 2 away in the bottom of the second inning. But the damage is done for the Eagles, able to claw their way, trim this deficit now to 1. Smith walked his first time up. And the 0-1 is fouled out of play towards the left side. And 0 balls and 2 strikes. Ekstrom this year, his 10th appearance, 28 innings of work, has given up just 9 earned runs on the season. Fastball up and down, got Austin Smith looking. The second strikeout for Ekstrom, and able to mitigate the damage and just give up 1 run. But ultimately, Eagles able to trim this deficit. They score 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. 2-1 Pointers over the Eagles as we head into the top of the third. Noah Ponciano still on the mound for the Eagles, beginning his 3rd inning of work. Has given up 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 earned, but has thrown 2 strikeouts. As we welcome you back to Poway High School for the Division I CIF San Diego Section Boys Baseball Championships, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Cody Messias behind the dish. MacArthur at third. Sauce at second. Sauce at short. Beeman at second. Vielguth at third. And in the outfield, James Taylor at left. Austin Smith in center, and Alex Jabad in right. Point Loma also back to the top of the 3rd inning is their top half of the order. Deuce Gorson, Kian Vu on deck, and Corbin Chianello waiting in the dugout. Gorson drew a walk his first time up. 6-pitch walk. Ponciano deals to the southpaw. It's a high bouncer down the middle. It's collected by Beeman and able to fire it to first in time to Vielguth for out number 1. 4-3 putout puts 1 up in the top of the 3rd inning. And really that first inning for the Pointers, able to bring in 2 runs, RBI double from Corbin Chianello and an RBI single from the designated hitter, Duke Ekstrom, who's also been pitching in today's game. Pointers finishing first in the Western League with an 8-4 record as Ponciano's first pitch to Kian Vu misses below the belt for ball 1. Vu reached first on a fielder's choice and advanced to second on an error from Sos. Fastball misses just upstairs, and it's 2-0. Vu ultimately came around to score the first run of the game. Pointers in front 2-1, 2-0 to Vu as a high chopper after the shift. Eagles able to throw it to first. So shifted over from short, kind of in the shallow outfield and right, and made the play to Vielguth in time for the second out of the inning.
For the Pointers, right fielder Corbin Chianello.
So 4-3 put out and a 6-3 put out. Puts 2 away. Now Corbin Chianello, as I mentioned, produced the double, the RBI double in the top of the first. And he'll foul the first pitch back for 0-1. Point Loma 16-18 overall in the postseason, but 25-19 in neutral fields this year. Curveball is fouled out of play down the third base line. And it's 0-2. Quickly the count shifted in the favor of Ponciano. Again, since that first inning has not surrendered a hit, has been much improved. Fastball high and inside is fouled off, and we'll do it again at 0-2. Ponciano at 99 strikeouts on the season, looking for that century mark. Fastball's in the dirt, got him swinging, and now the 2-3 put out from Messias to Vielguth ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. 1-run game as we head into the bottom of the third. 2, 3, and 4 batters due up for the Eagles on the other side of the break. One-seeded Granite Hills and the Eagles trailing two-seeded Point Loma and the Pointers. 2-1 as we head into the bottom half of the third inning. Hudson Beeman to lead things off for the Eagles. Grant MacArthur waiting on deck, and Ethan McNish-Hyder in the on-deck circle. The Eagles this year, with a 24-10 record, 14-4 at home, 7-5 away, 3-1 in neutral fields. Playing in the Grossmont Hills League, one of the most difficult leagues in all of baseball, let alone in Southern California. Playing in the same league as Grossmont, who finished with a 12-3 record in the Grossmont Hills League, and they're actually playing in the Open Division Championship following this game against 8-seeded Eastlake, which should be a fantastic game, but it just highlights the depth and the gauntlet of a division and of a league that the Grossmont Hills League is. And so Hudson Beeman, who reached first on a fielder's choice and then was thrown out on a 6-4 putout his first time up, takes a strike over the heart of the plate for 0-1. Batting .333 on the season, 21 hits, 10 RBIs. Duke Ekstrom out on the mound for his third inning of work. Pitches another beauty down the middle for 0-2. He has struck out 2 so far in this game, looking for number 3. And he's got it. High fastball gets him to swing and miss. 1 up, 1 down for Duke Ekstrom to start the bottom of the third inning. So Hudson Beeman now 0 for 2 to start this game, and Grant MacArthur, who also reached base on a fielder's choice, will step in for his second plate appearance. MacArthur 390 batting on the season. Second best on the team. And a breaking ball misses deep inside, and it's 1-0. The Eagles looking for some redemption this postseason after coming up just short, as MacArthur watches the 1-0 bounce in the ground and miss outside for 2 balls and no strikes. Lost in the semifinals to Grossmont last year. 2-0 slider misses off the plate on the outside, and it's 3-0. So MacArthur up in the count big with 1 out in the bottom of the third. Ekstrom deals, fastball just off the plate on the outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Grant MacArthur. So after striking out Beeman, he walks MacArthur, and there's 1 aboard for the Eagles.
DH, Ethan McNeish-Hyder.
Ekstrom has had tremendous command over his pitches, just the 24th walk that he has given up on the year. So MacArthur over at first, and Ethan McNeish-Hyder steps in and takes a strike over the heart of the plate. A fastball right down the middle. No balls, 1 strike. McNeish-Hyder was struck out his first time up. Ekstrom peers and fires. This is a pop-up into the infield. Taylor waving his teammates off and sliding to make the catch. Rockets a pass to first to hold up MacArthur at first. So the pop-up for McNeish-Hyder, the catch ended up being a little bit more difficult than I think Taylor had anticipated. The sun shining brightly right into his eyes over at third base, but able to maintain composure and control and hold on for out number 2. And now Camden Sos will step in, waving that bat behind his shoulder as the right-hander watches the first pitch. Fastball miss outside. 1-0 the count. The Eagles had 2 players selected to the All-Star game this year, Noah Ponciano and Austin Smith. 24 in 10 record. Slider at 1-0. This is outside, and it's 2-0. MacArthur still over at first. Hudson Beeman led things off, being struck out. MacArthur was walked, and McNeish-Hyder with a pop-up to third. And now Camden Sos. 2-0 pitch, takes a crack at it, and sends one back and out of play. And it's 2-1. Kind of a utility guy, Camden Sos, plays shortstop. Such a versatile player, is just a sophomore. Again, so much time to improve. That's what's been so fascinating, is the versatility, especially at the high school level. All these guys can play multiple positions. 2-1, cut on and missed, and it evens it up at 2-2. A fastball again got him to chase on the outside. Ekstrom has been dealing today. 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pointers with a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the third. MacArthur over at first base. And Camden Sos steps in. 2-2 count. Pitch on its way. And taken for a strike at the knees. 4th strikeout for Ekstrom. Got Sos looking. The 2nd strikeout of the inning. And so no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. 2-1, 2-seeded Pointers over 1-seeded Eagles. Coming up, 4, 5, and 6 batters due up for the Pointers on the other side of the break. Welcome back to Poway High School as we begin the top half of the fourth inning. And joining me on the broadcast is Christian Pedersen. Christian, thank you so much for joining me. This is such a lovely day for baseball. Saturday afternoon, 1 seed Granite Hills, 2 seed Point Loma Pointers.
All right, well, first off, it's too hot. It is definitively too hot. It is not a beautiful day, but it is great baseball, great visibility.
It's great weather for baseball as Ponciano's first pitch to Nuenis misses low for 1-0, don't you think, for summer?
It's good for hitting. Ball flies and travels true. There's no dead set, heavy fog or anything like that, that'll rob somebody of a warning track shot that, they're like, oh, that would have gone out on a dry, clear day or something like that. So I'm fine with that, but a little hot. I don't want to distract from this game though, because what I've been watching down the sideline or down the first baseline for the last couple of innings, my goodness, is that a broken aluminum bat? What was that?
2-0 cracked bat, shot into left field for Matthew Nuenis. So he leads things off in the top of the fourth with a single, right on cue. Christian, you're talking about how balls can fly a little bit more with that heat. And Matthew Nuenis is on for the first time. Nice shot into left. And a cracked bat along the way. And now Duke Ekstrom, who's been the starting pitcher for the Pointers in this game, also playing the DH, coming up for his second plate appearance, actually delivered an RBI single in the first inning. That brought home the second runner, which was Cianello for the second score of the game.
Runs coming at a premium so far today for both of these teams.
Ponciano, fastball misses outside and upstairs for 1-0. Such a great matchup, too. 1-seeded Granite Hills, 2-seeded Point Loma Pointers. These teams just faced off a couple weeks ago as the 1-0 fastball fouled back for 1-1. And that's the thing, Christian, is these teams played just a couple months ago on April 12th, and the Pointers actually dominated. They won 5-0 and leading in the top of the fourth.
Never feel comfortable with a lead in a championship game until it's over, ever. I'll say that across the board. I have been at finals where Granite Hills has won in walk-off style. I've been at finals where Granite Hills has lost in walk-off style. Point Loma has been one of the most dramatic walk-off teams in the section this year. And I don't know how much weight really a game from a couple weeks ago carries in a playoff scenario where you start running out of pitching and arms are tight. I hate to use the cliche from the Waterboy, but last game of the year, got to leave it all on the field type mentality here in the playoffs. So, I don't know if I put that much stock in a 5-0 game, even if it was 2 weeks ago.
Fair enough. 2 pitches miss inside, so 3 balls, 1 strike, and a second strike. Clips the bottom part of the strike zone. A fastball brings the count full. Nuenis over at second base. And nobody away. The top of the fourth. Pointers up 2-1. Ponciano throws him over at first.
I'm sure you brought up the uniforms already today, but you love seeing Granite Hills in those pinstripes for a championship game. It's an absolute beautiful look. Point Loma with a pretty unique.
Wonder who they drew that inspiration from.
Hopefully the Padres. Hopefully the 1996
or the Yankees
through 8 Padres.
Payoff pitch is fouled out of play, so we'll do it again. Almost hit the fire alarm, too. Seemed to have gone off for a brief second.
I'll take people inside the press booth here a little bit. I am standing with a pretty much obstructed view of the entire right side of the field, so I had to actually physically look out of the press box to follow that one down the first baseline. All right, 3-2 pitch here.
Ponciano deals and fires, fastball.
Up and in, but he swings at it, gets a piece of it.
Yeah, just got a piece. Inside part of the bat. Pointers have had to earn their way into this spot, having to beat Poway 2 out of 3 times. Won the first meeting, lost the second, and beat him again 6-1 in the semis to reach this spot. And once again, fastball is fouled back. And the one thing you have to say, if you're Duke Ekstrom and you are Point Loma and the Pointers, they are making Ponciano work. He has not been able to register many easy strikeouts or outs in this game.
Well, that's the name of the game. Sometimes it's just the war of attrition. Get to that 6th or 7th inning, get the other team right where you want them without their best guy on the mound, and then you pounce.
Ponciano, 1.06 ERA this year, 8-4 record with 1 save and 15 appearances.
8-4 and 15 appearances that's pretty solid. You're getting a decision one way or another every time you're out there on the mound as he hits a single right through that 5.5 hole.
Yep, you said it. Ekstrom on the curveball.
In Tony Gwynn's neighborhood, hitting through the 5.5 hole. Always a little wink and a nod there to the San Diego legend.
Nunes advances to second. Ekstrom now 2 for 2 on the afternoon with an RBI single in the first inning. Well, now we understand why he's the DH and the starting pitcher. So Aiden Rigel steps in. Had a pop up his first time up.
Absolutely what I thought.
Lays the bunt
right there, laying that down
the first base line.
Yep. A little bit of a double clutch there from the pitcher before throwing that over to first. Almost ran that one out. Great hustle down the line.
Messias was able to throw him out to Vielguth at first, but it does advance Nunes and Ekstrom. So the Pointers have 2 players in scoring position. Ekstrom at second, Nunes at third.
And you love seeing team baseball like that be played. Go get the sack bunt down, get the guys in scoring position. Only 1 out right now, and runners at second and third. You got to think this is a Point Loma's thinking guaranteed 1 run out of this situation. This infield is in very, very tight, though, for Granite Hills. I mean, a full step and a half in on the grass all the way around the horn.
Ponciano fastball clips the top part of the zone in the corner for 0-1.
Now, Jonah, do you play baseball of the variety where you are suicides, safety squeezing here? Like you're trying to guarantee get that runner and you let him swing away?
I think you let them swing away. I think in a game like this, I know runs can come in a premium, but I think you let these players swing. Curveball drops in for strike 2. 0-2, as Christian said, bases loaded. The infield has pinched in.
Second and third. We got second.
True. Yep, not bases loaded. Just second and third. Rigel was out on the sack bunt. Ekstrom at second, Nunes at third. In a 1-run game, top of the 4th, 2-1. Ponciano, 0-2 curveball, and it's chopped foul down the third base line.
Way to adjust on that curveball. You can see his whole frame goes down to just get the bat at a nice, even level, shorten up, get a piece of it there.
Nick Garcia, the sophomore. Big spot here. 1-run lead for 2-seeded Pointers. Garcia deals the 0-2 high fastball, got him swinging. And there's 2 gone in the top of the 4th. 4th strikeout of the game for Ponciano. So Ekstrom still at second, Nunes at third, and Ruben Guzman will step in. Was thrown out after being struck out, a 2-3 put out technically. He'll step back in with 2 gone, top of the 4th inning. Ponciano, the pitch, fastball misses in the ground, and it's 1-0. So 1-0 for Ponciano. Ruben Guzman steps back in. 1 ball, no strikes. Ponciano. Breaking ball misses low below the zone, and it's 2-0. The Eagles, finishing second in the Grossmont Hills League, had to beat Bonita Vista in the first round, lost to Westview in the second, beat Vista again in the third, and had to redeem themselves and beat Westview 5-4 and 12-7 in the semis to advance to this championship game. As the 2-0 slider clips the outside corner, it's 2-1.
My apologies there. Our video coordinator for tonight's game, calling with some last-minute technical questions. Going to have a great edit from the great Alex Paz on our social media after the Open Division Championship game.
2-1, Ponciano. This one's a blooper,
trouble.
and it drops in the infield. One-handed, barehanded throw to first
Wow.
is in time from Beeman to Vielguth. It keeps the game at one score. Eagles fired up, and it's 2-1 as we head into the
My
bottom
goodness
of
gracious
the fourth.
me. That was a grab out of thin air. Just plucked the ball. Made a perfect strike over to first base. Saved a couple of runs.
Absolutely did Beeman. And Christian, as we kind of begin and head into the bottom of the fourth, we'll leave it here. We won't take a break. You've obviously been around a lot of these teams for several years. What's been the most impressive thing you think about these teams during this season with all the COVID protocols having to go on and for them to be in this position?
You can end that question right there. No, it's just Kian Vu and the Deuce Gorson. The power hitting of Point Loma all season long has been absolutely fascinating. A couple of the best hitters in San Diego County, not just in terms of overall talent, but in terms of situational talent and guys that you need at the plate for big games, and they keep winning them consistently. Every time they're in those situations where they need them to win, they always got the wins. And I mean, Point Loma and Granite both play extremely difficult schedules, and that's not hyperbole in baseball in San Diego versus some other sports. You know, in baseball, when you say a difficult schedule, that means top 5 draft picks. That means, you know, University of insert the blank from the SEC or Pac-12, you know, commits. So to be in those situations against those teams and have the clutch hitting, that's what's impressed me the most about Point Loma all season long, is that the pair of Deuce Gorson and Kian Vu being able to consistently come up with big hits. And then Kian knows how to pimp a shot. Like, he knows how to do that backflip in a way that makes you go, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. And you know, not everybody knows how to do that at 17 or 18. Some people do, some people don't. It might be more of one of those given talents as opposed to an acquired one, the ability to properly flip a bat with confidence. And if it is, he has it in spades, in absolute droves. Granite, though, on the other side, is just another championship game for them. And I know that the kids change, but the plot line doesn't. And that's exactly what you saw there on that play at second base. It's good baseball with an exciting edge to it, and that's what Granite always plays. They always have just enough talent that, you know, they're in every single game. Whether or not they lose it, they're in every single game. And frankly, you know, the gap right now kind of surprises me a little bit. I would have thought that this one it would be a little bit higher scoring. We'll find out, though, as we head here into, as you said, bottom of the fourth. We're kind of, this feels like the home stretch is closing in. You start looking at outs as a little bit more coming at a premium now.
Could be 6, 7, and 8 batters due up. Tanner Vielguth steps in and takes a ball. Duke Ekstrom still on the mound, entering his 4th inning of work, has been really good so far as well. Just giving up one hit and 1 run.
I was going to say, you run him well past what on paper looks concerning, correct? In a championship game, even with state playoffs on the line potentially. I feel like there's no situation that you don't just go with your guy. You ride him until the rails fall off.
Well, that's certainly what they've been doing, and he's answered the calls, just giving up 1 hit and 1 run. 2-0 is ripped foul.
Way ahead of that one.
Got him swinging out in front, and it's 2-1. 2 runs came in the top of the first for the Pointers. 1 run came for the Eagles in the bottom of the second. Nobody scored in the third or the top half of the fourth. There's the 2-1. Fastball on the outside evens it up at 2-2.
If you look at the body language right now for Point Loma, they're relaxed, they're confident. They are standing around the diamond in a way that they don't look nervous or worried riding on every pitch. And for a 1-run championship game, it's a great place to be in. And you can relax and play your best baseball.
Full count now to Tanner Vielguth, the 5th pitch, missed below the belt. Payoff pitch, Ekstrom.
That's excellent.
This one's hit deep into center, but making the catch is Vu. made that one look easy, just glided over there. Didn't go quite as far as we had thought.
Absolutely excellent pitch
And
selection.
one out.
Pump him full of fastballs the first 6 pitches of that bat, and give him something breaking there. Got him just out in front of it, and it lifts a. That's one of those ones that looks great in batting practice. You feel good about it off the bat, but then you realize that's a routine out.
Right. And Cody Messias takes a first pitch ball delivered by Ekstrom. 4 strikeouts this afternoon. The right-hander deals a fastball that paints the outside corner, and it's 1-1.
I feel like sometimes you almost don't want strikeouts in a championship game just out of, that means the pitch count's high.
34 strikeouts, too, on the season. 1-0 fastball is hit foul, and it's 1-2.
I'm convinced now that those balls that are getting hit out to right are landing in a game from a fair. They're hitting little ducks over, and that's what that buzzing sound has to be. Someone's winning a prize every time they hit a foul ball down to right.
They'd be happy if that was the case, too. 1-2 pitch from Ekstrom. Misses outside, and it's 2-2.
Tried to put a little bit of extra heat on that one.
Messias actually reached base on a wild pitch his first time up in the second inning. Ekstrom has been in a little bit more control. Had a couple erratic pitches earlier in this game. That's a slow curveball that takes a bounce in the infield. And making the throw is Gorson and Nunes. Put a little extra mustard on it to get there in time. And 2 gone in the bottom of the 4th. So 6-3 put out. Puts 2 away. And Alex Jabad in the A spot will step back in. Also reached base his first time up on a wild pitch. Again, just 1 hit has been given up by Ekstrom. He's been that good dealing, but first pitch misses low and outside for 1-0.
He certainly seems to be peppering low and away to the right-handed hitters today. And if you can have a guy that works confident on the black and at the knees, that can be really hard to hit, even if it is just a bunch of fastballs.
Jabad batting .253 on the season.
Visibly, you can see he's upset. He recoils a little bit. I don't know why I keep telling people that they can see it. We can see it. You can hear it. But he's upset on the mound after that one. Did not like how he released that one so high.
2-0. Fastball. Paints the outside corner, and it's 2-1. The right-hander, Alex Jabad, didn't even take a swing at it. Was up in the count, so just figured he had one to take. Nobody on. 2-1 is slapped back against the screen in the fence. And all of a sudden, what was a 2-0 count has now evened up to a 2-2 count. Jabad, 18 runs, 21 hits, 10 RBIs with a home run this year. Number 1 seeded Eagles, trailing 2-1 to 2 seeded Pointers. 2-2 misses off the plate, and it's 3-2. Eagles have.
You can break a curveball off right here, inner third.
Payoff pitch, cut on and miss. Down the middle. For strike 3, down goes
That's a challenge right
Jabad.
there.
The 5th strikeout of the game for Duke Ekstrom as we head into the top of the 5th. You're listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section Boys Baseball Division I Championships, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. New pitcher on the mound for the Eagles. Chandler Henry steps in. Noah Ponciano's afternoon is done. Pitched 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, no walks,
You'll take that from
and 4 strikeouts.
any pitcher going into a championship game.
Now Chandler
Absolutely
Henry,
take it.
yep. And Chandler Henry, the right-hander, just a freshman, but 6'4", has tremendous reach and tremendous speeds on his fastball. Will step in a big spot, top of the 5th inning. In the bottom of the order, the 9th batter, John Taylor, steps in and rakes one foul down the third base line. So no balls and 1 strike. John Taylor was struck out his first time up in the 2nd inning. As we begin the top of the 5th.
Great crowd today. Packed on both sides of these bleachers.
Absolutely. Fans full in attendance.
Oh, did that get him?
Curveball, did it clip his left foot? They said that it did.
I always love when there's a smile on the batter's face as he goes down that first baseline, indicating definitely not feeling in any pain whatsoever after that one.
So the first hit by a pitch that we've seen in this game, and John Taylor is aboard at first. Now back to the top of the order for the Pointers. A good spot here. Nobody away and 1 on. And Deuce Gorson, who so far is 0 for 1, reached base on a walk his first time up.
Interesting to see definitely how dynamic the shift is that they have on against Deuce here, given that there's already a runner on first. You have third baseman's about halfway between third and short. Shortstop is standing right behind the bag at second. Second baseman is out there shallow, Manny Machado style in right field.
They are employing a bit of a shift. 1 ball, no strikes to Deuce Gorson. Henry fires, and it's a strike down the middle. Got him falling on the ground as well.
The wind you hear in my microphone is from that hack. My goodness. That's an adult swing. Trying to put it on the house out there on the hill.
Over at first base, John Taylor was hit by a pitch to start the top of the 5th. Deuce Gorson looking to advance, and 1-1. Fastball fouled back, 1-2.
Now, this is somewhere where you need to not drink necessarily your own Kool-Aid. Don't try and be too much if you're Deuce Gorson. Just know that you're a good hitter. Take your approach up there, get the ball in play.
Pointers looking for their first CIF San Diego section championship for any sport. They've won in a number of other sports, but still seeking that elusive baseball title. Good spot here. 1-2, falls in the ground, smothered though by Messias.
I do think it's important to point out that some of Point Loma's baseball success as a blue blood franchise predates the existence of CIF necessarily, all the way back to they've been producing a pair of guys who've thrown major league perfect games in Don Larson pre-CIF and David Wells at the beginning of CIF's existence. So you could say championships or no championships, but they are definitely one of the elite baseball schools here in San Diego.
Absolutely. Don Larson, again, former MLB pitcher, pitched the only perfect game in the World Series, in a World Series game, took place in 1956. And David Wells also pitched a perfect game. So 2 alumni, tremendous pitchers here out of Point Loma. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the southpaw Gorson. Taylor over at first. Henry fires, 2-2 fastball, misses in the dirt on the inside, and it is full.
And on the mound, Henry not happy visibly after that pitch with how he released it, recoiling a little bit. Maybe feeling like he put a little bit too much on that, released it a tad bit late.
Again, Henry just a freshman too, being inserted into this big spot as a team. They have a 2.89 ERA collectively. Henry, payoff pitch, misses upstairs and away. And Gorson able to draw a walk. So he's over at first, and Taylor advances to second.
And that's what I was talking about, Deuce Gorson needing to have an at-bat where he stays within himself. So he got his 1 home run swing. He got his 1 hack at trying to make something really dynamic happen there.
And with Keon Vu, your favorite player, coming up, there's a meeting with the infield
I would be hesitant to say that anybody's my favorite player ahead of Marcelo Mayer
Fair.
in this category. But yes, I'm a fan of several of these guys.
Or at least some of the guys
We
that
had-
you noted
Yeah,
when it comes to
we had
Point
Deuce on
Loma.
we had Deuce on the show earlier this year. Kian, big fan of, as I said, his bat flippery. Infield still playing a little bit shifted around. Third base is
They're trying to keep this a one-score game, no doubt.
Third baseman drawn in on the grass. Shortstop, maybe a shade just behind the umpire up the middle. Second baseman very deep. Really
Just on the fringe of the outside.
Yeah, really interesting to see how aggressively Coach Davis from Granite is trying to manage this situation and not let it get out of hand.
2-1, the score. Henry deals. Fastball misses outside to
That was
Kian
called a
Vu.
strike.
Oh, it was called a strike.
No, it was called a strike. Yikes.
Looked to be off the plate, but what do I know? So 0-1. The count to Kian Vu. Reached base his first time up on a fielder's choice. Scored the first run of the game for the Pointers. 2 on. Fastball.
We must just be seeing this from a weird angle.
It seems to be clipped right. It seems to be clipping the outside corner somehow. So two identical pitches.
That's one of those
two identical strikes.
They got to bring in the full 3D
Exactly.
box, and we'll see it clip just the front left corner of the.
We're placed
the
right
3D
behind the dish.
I think we're saying that we got to be looking at that funny sarcastically.
I think so.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, no balls and 2 strikes to Kian Vu. The southpaw takes a ball below the belt. That one's called a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
How much do you love a team that has a lefty hitting 2 and 3? Or
You have to love
hitting 1-2. Hit 1-2. At the top of the order, a pair of the
used to
pair of those
be
lefty bats.
before Mookie Betts came to the Dodgers. Kind of used to be the Bellinger Max Muncy type of situation, going back to back with southpaws. Tremendous stress on the pitcher. 1-2 fouled back and out of play, and we'll do it again. The Pointers were the 2 seed in 2019, 2 years ago. They lost in the Division II quarterfinals to Bonita Vista 6-4. We're off to a great start last year, 6-1, and then COVID nixed any potential opportunity for a postseason, and now they've returned. They've come back this year in the championship game. 2-1, has them swinging out in front, just able to get the barrel of the bat on it, and it's fouled out of play, so we'll do it again.
That is a protection swing if I have ever seen one. My goodness gracious. Way out in front of that one.
The off-speeder kind of caught him off guard. Kian Vu scored the first run in the first inning, then was thrown out on a 6-3 put out in the third. Coming up for his third plate appearance in the top of the 5th. 2-1. Pointers, 2-seeded team over Granite Hills and the Eagles, the 1-seeded team. Henry, fastball. This is a high fly ball into right field, but backing up is Smith to make the catch. Releases it quickly into the infield, and advancing to third base is John Taylor. So Vu does advance Taylor over to third. Gorson is stuck at first, and the fly out to center puts 1 out in the top of the 5th.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today to the Division I Baseball Championship presented by Mission Fed Credit Union, our wonderful CIF partners. 2-1, Point Loma, as Jonah mentioned here in the top of the 5th. We got runners on first and third for the Pointers, 1 down. If you are just joining us, thank you very much for tuning in.
And Corbin Chianello watches the first pitch, a slider miss off the plate for 1 ball, no strikes. Chianello has been tremendous in this game. A RBI double in the first inning, capped off a 2-run top of the 1st for the Pointers. And they've got runners at the corners with 1 out. Taylor at first, Taylor at third, Gorson at first. Henry will step off the mound, and hold up the runners at the corners. And this is one of those situations, I think, where you almost have to expect Gorson at first to take off for second because Henry's attention is going to be all the way over at third base. 1-0 fastball misses below the belt for ball 2.
I feel like you don't risk an out here in a championship situation because you got to expect that Granite knows what to do with a runner breaking there. They'll have their mind made up. They're not going to be caught up in, indecisively reacting to that situation. I feel like you just don't risk the out the way that Point Loma has been working this inning. Pair of balls hit to deep center field. It's it feels counterintuitive right now to try and risk that.
Gianello with 21 RBIs on the season. 2-0 pitch. Drops in for a strike. Breaking ball brings the count to 2-1. Gianello playing in his 31st game this year. 284 batting average.
Take it all day.
Especially in a big spot like this. The senior with tons of experience. Up in the count. And Gorson nearly took off, forced Henry to step off the mound. Now he'll trot back over to first. And now it's kind of just mind games, you think, Christian, trying to get into the head of Chandler Henry.
And as you mentioned, he's a freshman, so Point Loma really trying probably to try and put him into a pretzel.
Taylor at third, Gorson at first. Henry peers in for the sign from Messias and deals a fastball that misses low and outside. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. And you're right. If he gives up a walk here, bases loaded, 1 out. Now you really start to play some mind games with yourself.
Then you're going to have everybody steal.
That's true.
That'll really catch him off guard.
Henry's 3-1. It's a pop-up into right field, an opportunity to make a play on it. It sails into foul territory. It's caught by Vielguth for a much-needed second out, able to hold the runners at the corners, and 2 down now in the top of the 5th. Still a 1-run game.
Well, Vielguth over there showing some great range, but Poway's stadium, for those of you that have not been here, has plenty of room symmetrically down both sides in foul territory. It extends probably 30, 40 yards. Really, that's a thing about baseball. I don't know why I tapped you like we're having a back and forth conversation.
I like the intimacy and the personal note.
That's the thing about baseball. Sometimes it's interesting is that might have been out of play in a lot of stadiums in San Diego. But here at Poway, plenty of space for that to be an out.
Matthew Nunes steps in, 2 gone. Fastball sails way off the plate and upstairs for 1-0. Matthew Nunes with a leadoff single in the top of the 4th inning after being put out on a 4-3 putout in the 1st inning, his first time up. Runners at the corners. 1-0. Catches the inside corner for 1-1.
Didn't realize we had the Salvation Army running the operations behind the dish tonight because it certainly seems quite charitable of a strike zone.
The umpire, I guess, has been trying to be consistent with his calls. 1-1 misses below the belt, and it's 2-1. And sometimes it is just as simple as, do you get a favorable call from an umpire or do you not?
He's humping like he's got a taxi waiting for him in the parking lot. Just meters running.
Southpaw Nunes digs back in. Henry takes the sign and deals the 2-1 fastball. It's fouled back and out of play, and this is the situation that you're looking for if you're Henry. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And yes, Taylor's over at third base, and you have
Deuce Gorson over there.
Deuce Gorson at first, but at the end of the day, all you have to do is focus right now on Matthew Nunes. You get him out, you're out of this inning.
And that's the crazy thing about baseball, though, because the flip side of that coin is if that one pitch doesn't go well, doubles the lead for Point Loma.
Nunes batting .290 on the season. Big spot here. Even count, 2-2. Fastball, this one's hit hard into right field, but Jabal just has to take one step to his left to make the catch, and Henry's fired up, so he's able to prevent any runs from coming on. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. Still a 1-run game as we head into the bottom of the 5th. 9, 1, and 2 batters due up for the Eagles when we return. You're listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section Boys Baseball Division I Championships, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Welcome back to Poway High School as we get set for the bottom half of the 5th inning. 1-seeded Granite Hills trailing 2-seeded Point Loma 2-1. Both runs came for the Pointers in the 1st inning. The only run of the game for the Eagles came in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And now the Eagles, sporting those beautiful pinstripe jerseys with Columbia blue numbers, step back in. First pitch to James Taylor is a ball off the glove of Garcia. Duke Ekstrom coming in, staying on the mound, entering his 5th inning of work.
I said it before, I'll say it again. They'll go with Duke until the signs are visibly out there that he does not have his perfect stuff.
Second pitch misses off the plate. It's 2-0.
What I was going to ask you, though, Jonah, is I'm curious your take on this. 2-1 in the championship game with both the runs coming pretty early. Baseball dream because it's a great, dynamic, close game, or deceptively boring?
Well, it depends who you're asking. I know you're asking me.
I'm asking you. You are not a generic broadcaster that we rolled out of a cardboard box. You're a real human.
Thankfully not. I appreciate low-scoring games because it just further heightens the intensity towards the later innings. And I think that even though a lot of the runs came in the 1st and 2nd, I'm okay with there being some dead periods in the middle when it starts to heat up in the bottom half of this game as Taylor takes a strike. Right down the middle, yep. What about you? What would you prefer?
Oh, all out. Abandon the pitching entirely. Give me home runs. Give me balls getting obliterated and just disappearing into chalk.
2-1 taken for a strike, 2-2. But that's not a traditionalist view. I have more of a traditionalist and a purist view.
I want those people out there camped out in the right field bleacher seats to go home with several souvenirs each.
2-2 is fouled back and out of play. I, for one, love seeing no-hitters and having pitching duels.
That's great for the regular season, but in a championship game, give me big hit after big hit after big hit. I guess they're not all big hits at that point, but I want them.
Some contact, sure. Breaking ball's fouled away, and we'll do it again. James Taylor with an RBI sacrifice, RBI flyout in the 2nd inning. 2-2 again. Fouled out of play. The Eagles, especially in these later innings, have done a much better job making Ekstrom work on the mound, not necessarily swinging at the first pitch, is really fighting off some as well. 2-2, it's a high chopper over the head of Taylor at third, and it's a leadoff single for James Taylor. And the Eagles have their tying run over at first base.
Every run is big at this point. Every batter is big. Every on base is big. And sometimes, a chopper, it's a simple get on top of it and get it over the head of the third baseman. That can be the spark.
Back to the top of the order with Austin Smith, who was just selected as an all-star to play at Petco Park in a couple of weeks, committed to UC San Diego, but of course could opt to play pro. He pops one high near the dugout, and it is unable to be caught.
Looks like he took Taylor took
a tumble near the dugout of the Eagles, and
he's down.
Hard to see from our vantage point, but the entire dugout is up, and now the coaching staff is walking over. A hush kind of fell over the crowd here. We certainly hope that there was nothing serious suffered to Taylor. On the one hand, you appreciate the all-out hustle.
It's always dangerous, though.
But it always is dangerous.
From that grass to concrete look.
And fortunately, he's good to go. Jogs back over to third base. Love the competitive spirit from both of these teams. Austin Smith, fortunate that that ball didn't stay in a little bit longer, just like we saw.
Well, and as that pitch was coming in, you bring up an interesting point about Austin Smith, committed to UCSD, potential to go pro. That's what's so amazing about San Diego's high school baseball scene. The talent ranges from not even necessarily the top college locally, as he takes a strike on the outer third. They're maybe not necessarily the top college that you think of locally for baseball. Is still good enough that it'll have pro guys coming in.
San Diego is just a pipeline for baseball. So many different guys.
And I do get that there's a scale between being a first round and a 31st round draft pick, but it's still something to be said that a pro organization sees something, at least something in you, in a way that maybe not everyone else does.
Shane Spencer was a former Granite Hills Eagle. Played in the MLB for the Yankees, Blue Jays, Rangers, Indians, and Mets. As Austin Smith fouls it off, count is at 1-2.
Probably most notably from Granite Hills would be the Giles brothers,
Ryan Giles,
and Marcus Giles.
Even Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR Series champion 7 times, was an Eagle as well back in his day. So a lot of notable alumni have come out of this school. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Austin Smith. Breaking ball just trickles down the third base line. Smith's going to have to beat the throw. He can't. Taylor able to throw him out. It does advance James Taylor to second base. But there's 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th. So 5-3 putout sends Smith back to the dugout, and Hudson Beeman will step back in. His second plate appearance, was struck out his last time up in the 3rd, reached base on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. But this is what you want if you're the Eagles. 1 gone with a runner in scoring position. Taylor over at second. All you need is 1 run to tie this game up. Ekstrom, beautiful fastball down the heart of the plate for strike 1.
Well, and that's what you got to do for Ekstrom, is go ahead early in these counts, not let the momentum creep in at all. 3-0 count here could be really dangerous for Ekstrom.
Second pitch taken for a strike as well. Beeman's been a little bit reticent to swing. Down in the count, 0-2. 14 runs.
What is Ekstrom at, like 5 Ks right now?
He is at 5 Ks, precisely on the dot. Looking for number 6. 0-2 misses off the plate. It's a wild pitch. Taylor will advance to third. Will be held up at third. And that was one of those rare pitches for Ekstrom that got away from him. But here's the interesting. Well, this is the thing, Christian. The 2 times that the Eagles have had runners in scoring position, and the last time they scored was off of some wild pitches as well.
Well, and to me, that's where I would argue that that's not the rare misstep. That's the beginning of him being out of gas. If he's trying to overthrow a simple fastball and spiking it in the opposing, in the opposite batter's box. That's fatigue right there.
It's a good point. Bottom of the 5th, slider. It's a 1-hopper to short. And Gorsman throws him out over to Nunes. So 2 up. Or 3 up and 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. Taylor is still over at third base. And Grant MacArthur will step back in. He was walked his last time up in the 3rd and also reached base on a fielder's choice in the 1st. And as you alluded to, this could be perhaps Ekstrom's last inning if he can get out of this unscathed. He's managed to only give up 1 run. Fastball's fouled back for
with or without
1.
the scathing, this will probably be his last inning based off of the last couple of pitches.
Jeff Solis, head coach of the Pointers, has just done a great job guiding this team to a 21-13 record, a first place finish in the Western League with an 8-4 record. They've just done such a tremendous job. 1-2 is hit hard down the right baseline, and it's foul.
Also known as the first baseline.
That is true. And just like we were talking about Henry in a good spot, facing a batter to get out of an inning without surrendering a run, same position for Ekstrom. Yes, Taylor's 90 feet away from home plate, but that's it.
This might be the acceptable version of a pitcher's duel where both innings we got guys left at third base. This is getting kind of interesting.
Ekstrom peers for the sign from Garcia. 0-2 misses off the plate, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, it would surprise me if Ekstrom comes back out for another one after this. Couple of pitches just being pulled off a little bit by his front half of his body. You see it over-rotating a little bit there.
1-2 slider.
Oh!
Just
I think
missed.
about 2/3 of the fans here thought that one was going to be rung up with some enthusiasm.
Evens it up at 2-2. That was a filthy pitch from Ekstrom.
I know there's no cheer to the press box, but some of the people, a couple to the left of us, wanted a K there just out of the excitement of the situation.
Home
Man.
umpire just thought it missed the plate. 2-2, chopped back against the face mask of Garcia and then back against the fence in front of us. And it's 2-2. Those are such dangerous plays, too, when you're a catcher and the batter just ricochets the ball back into your face mask. I know that's why you have that protective mask there, but
it can't be perfect against like catchers have to suffer some sort of cranial damage from a 110-mile-an-hour foul ball. Yes,
I would assume so.
We'll put that on the SD Prep Insider polls. Do foul balls hurt? Find all our
I have
polls
a feeling we know what the answer to that's going to be.
There's the big
2-2. Base hit is ripped into right field. The tying run comes home. James Taylor scores, and an RBI single for Grant MacArthur ties this thing up in the bottom of the 5th.
My goodness.
So with 2 on, Eagles deliver a 2-out single. And just like that, they have grinded their way and have knotted this game up at 2 apiece. And now Ethan McNish-Hyder takes a strike for 0-1.
When you talk, we've talked a couple of times, one pitch too many, one pitch too few, and that 2-2 curveball that looked like it was strike 3 wound up being one pitch too many for Ekstrom in that at bat.
Fastball misses below the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's on the mound getting chirpy, asking where did that one miss? And if I'm coaching Point Loma, I am seeing this, and just red lights are going off everywhere. That Ekstrom needs to get himself out of this situation. You need to get cooler heads in there, get a run back, get someone new on the mound.
And a breaking ball drops on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nice pitch from Ekstrom. He's already registered 5 Ks on the afternoon.
Trying to get out of this one with limiting the damage to only 1 run, and he does.
Fastball cut on and missed.
Throws a
strike
chair.
3. Down goes McNish-Hyder, but the damage was done. MacArthur delivers an RBI single, and we're all tied at 2 apiece. Heading in to the top of the 6th. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. You're listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section. Boys Baseball Division I Championships. Top of the 6th on the other side of the break. Welcome back to Poway High School.
We hope
as
you didn't
we head
leave. We hope you
into the
didn't go
top
anywhere.
of the 6th. You shouldn't be going anywhere. We've got a 2-2 ball game after the RBI single from Grant MacArthur brought James Taylor home. And Matthew Nunes steps in and takes a first pitch ball. Chandler Henry, the freshman, still on the mound for a second inning of work. And all of a sudden, the Eagles are back in this game and have tied this thing up. 1-0 fastball drifts outside, and it's 2-0. Henry was able to work out of a little bit of a jam, had runners at the corners with one out in the top of the fifth, but able to escape unscathed. 2-0 fastball below the zone, and it's 3-0.
If you don't mind, I will filibuster a little bit between pitches with some of the shout-outs to other teams that have won championships already today, including the Division II game with Carlsbad Lancers winning their title previous to this one right here.
3-0 down the middle, and I guess it's not a strike. They'll say it sailed upstairs, and a 4-pitch walk.
Give a shout-out to Holtville girls softball winning the Division IV championship. Always love seeing something happen from the outer parts of our Imperial Valley County. Yesterday, a pair of softball championships, Division V with Kearney winning and Division I with San Marcos winning. We'll also have some water polo scores to get to, but you can find all those at SD Prep Insider on our social media across all the platforms.
2-2 ball game. Duke Ekstrom steps in and takes a strike down the middle. Matthew Nunes just reached base on a walk. Just the second walk issued by the Eagles this afternoon, both by the freshman Chandler Henry. Ekstrom hit a single his last time up, watches the second pitch miss inside and low for 1-1.
I mean, I suppose this would be a time for Ekstrom to get that run back.
Did deliver an RBI single in the first. 2 steps off the bag for Nunez at first. Fakes the run. And Ekstrom on an outside fastball. Gracious call. Said he skins the zone, and it's 1-2.
It's a living, breathing amoeba, man. That strike zone. It's a living, breathing thing. Expands and contracts.
1-2 from Henry. Is a pop-up into right field, out of play and into foul territory.
Barely, though, out of play.
Fieldguth tried to track it down, and it just missed.
That's what we're talking about here, is plenty of room in foul territory on both sides. I suppose plenty of room in general on this campus.
Beautiful field. Huge field, 315 feet into left, 400 in dead center. The dimensions more reflective of a college baseball field.
Well, yeah, and then the left field wall littered with pro players that have come from here, so it sort of makes sense maybe.
Nice mountains in the backdrop. 1-2, sun beginning to set, and this is lifted into left field.
He got a bad read on that.
And
still able to recover and make it.
Taylor will track it down to make the catch. It just dropped in short for him to chase it down. So 1 gone in the bottom of the 6th.
You're wondering at this point, who's going to be the hero? Who's going to be the guy? This feels like this is going to be a the guy type of situation to get this one concluded.
And Aiden Rigel will step in. Second time today. Delivered a sacrifice bunt to advance the runners. 2 home runs on the season. He'll take a ball. Batting .208, 16 runs, 16 hits, 11 RBIs. Up in the count 1-0. Nunez over at first. Henry deals the 1-0. This will be skied up high into the infield. Right to MacArthur, trying to track it down. Backpedals a couple times, but makes the grab.
Adds a tad bit of drama to that play right there.
So 2 straight outs. A fly out to left and a pop up to third. And now Nick Garcia playing cat. Or rather, Ruben Guzman will step in. And first pitch to Guzman is a strike. Ruben Guzman, 0 for 2. Nunes over at first base, reached base on a leadoff walk. Fastball, late swing is swung on and missed for strike 2. Nice fastball and pitch from Chandler Henry. Chase that one. Fastball got him swinging on the outside. Down goes Guzman. The first strikeout for Chandler Henry as we head into the bottom of the 6th. Opportunity for the 1-seeded Eagles to take the lead as we hit the break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the CIF San Diego section, Boys Division I Baseball Championships, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Bottom of the 6th is about to ensue. Welcome back, everyone, to Poway High School alongside Christian Pedersen. Jonah Malkin, delighted to be with you on this gorgeous but hot day in San Diego.
It's in front of Christian Pedersen. I am Jonah Malkin. We're
Technically,
working in a small.
It's all semantics here.
We're working in a small situation here. Jonah's been very accommodating. Murdered about 200 to 300 ants throughout the course of this game as well. So definitely, you deserve all the credit in the world for multitasking.
I'll take it. I appreciate it.
Well, hopefully calling an iconic moment here for one of these two schools. Going into the bottom of the 6th, 2-2. Tell them how we got here.
It's been just an unbelievable early display of runs. 2 runs for the Pointers came in the top of the 1st inning, and the Eagles answered with a run in the bottom of the 2nd and in the bottom of the 5th. And Duke Ekstrom's day is done. Goes 5 innings, gives up 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Now Blake Ledbetter, the senior, with a 1.81 ERA, takes the mound for the first time this afternoon as the sun begins to set, and he deals the first pitch to the southpaw Camden Sos.
Blake, a left-handed,
for a strike.
Blake, a left-handed pitcher now, so they'll be seeing something different, working entirely out of the stretch. So I mean, there's not much similarities at all in terms of what these hitters for Granite Hills are going to be seeing here, other than the strike zone's a little bit big.
Southpaw takes a strike on the outside fastball, so 0-2. All of a sudden, you look up, and Sos is down the count, 0-2, struck out looking his last time up, reached base in the 2nd, then was caught stealing. 0-2 just tipped off the edge of the bat to keep himself alive, and we'll do it again.
It's a great thing about baseball, though, is you can go 0 for your lifetime. You come up with the big hit right in the last game when everyone needs it, you're a hero.
That's what Camden Sos is looking to be. 280, 21 RBIs, just 1 home run this season. Looking for a big one here. 0-2, a late swing on the outside. And Ledbetter rings him up for his first strikeout of the afternoon. 1 batter faced, 1 strikeout for Ledbetter. You can see Sos barking as he's walking back, a little bit frustrated with himself. And now Tanner Vielguth, the first baseman, will step in for his third plate appearance. Vielguth with 28 hits on the season. Eagles looking to cap off what's been a tremendous year with a championship as he takes a ball below the zone for 1-0.
Well, and also need to remind people that for the first time ever in section history, there's state playoff seedings at stake here for these games. So a little bit of an extra unknown.
This one is ripped into left field. A one-out single for Tanner Vielguth. And the Eagles have the game-leading run over at first base. The first hit for Vielguth on the afternoon reached base on a walk in the second inning, flew out to center in the fourth.
Running at first base for the Eagles, number 9.
And an opportunity now for Cody Messias to advance him into scoring position. Messias behind the dish all of the afternoon, stepping in his third plate appearance. Was out on a 6-3 put out his first time up, reached base in the second, and a wild pitch advanced him all the way to third. He was left stranded. The southpaw deals a fastball that clips the outside corner for strike one. Nice looking pitch from Blake Ledbetter.
Well, he's working low, he's working quick, he's working efficiently. That's all that Point Loma needs.
Ledbetter has held opponents to a .201 batting average. The throw over to first will hold Vielguth over at first base. 14th appearance for Ledbetter.
You got to doubt that he'd be on the move.
Perhaps it's just to reinforce that. Game-leading run for the Eagles over at first base. Ledbetter misses low and inside, and it's 1-1. One's across the board. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Tie ball game, 6-6, bottom of the 6th inning. Ledbetter with 35 strikeouts, now 36 on the season. Vielguth is going to go. The throw seems on time, and got him. Garcia hits Gorson, who tags out Vielguth trying to steal. Perfect execution and defensive play to put 2 up for the Pointers.
My interpretation there was hit and run was the play because he swung way, way outside at that one. You got to assume that that's what they were trying to achieve. Just did not execute. And an excellent throw on the Point Loma side to get down there at second base, right on the money. Deuce Gorson didn't have to move an inch. Just applied the tag and got himself out of there.
2-6 on the scorecard if you're scoring it at home. Perfect throw from Garcia. Good placement from Gorson right at second base. And now an off-speeder forces a fly out into left center field. Keigel running underneath it, and he'll make the catch. So after Vielguth is caught stealing and thrown out at second base, no runs, just 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We're all knotted up as we head into what would normally be a 7th inning stretch, but in high school baseball, it could be the final inning potentially as we head into the top of the 7th. You are listening to a great one between number 2 Point Loma and number 1 Granite Hills, all knotted up at 2 apiece heading into the top of the 7th. You're listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section boys baseball Division I championship presented by Mission Fed Credit Union. Don't go anywhere. Potential final inning on the other side of the break. It is all knotted up at 2 apiece as we head into the top of the 7th inning. A Division I CIF San Diego Section Boys Baseball Championship is on the line. 2-seeded Point Loma and the Pointers looking to knock off number 1 seeded Granite Hills and the Eagles for the second time this year in the biggest spot of the season, the championship game. Chandler Henry still on the mound, entering his 3rd inning, and John the Jet Taylor in the 9th spot steps in for his 3rd plate appearance, watches the first fastball miss up and away for ball 1. Taylor has made the pitchers work, was hit by pitches last time up, was struck out in the 2nd, but it was a 6-pitch strikeout as he takes a strike over the heart of the plate for 1-1. Chandler Henry, meanwhile, was able to work out of a jam in the 5th inning. And now in a great spot, a tie ball game in the 7th. 3rd pitch, fastball misses outside, and it's 2-1. He's walked 2, but he's given up no hits and no runs and has registered a strikeout. 2-1 fastball, clips the bottom of the zone, and it's 2-2. These two teams last played back on April 12th. The Pointers won 5-0. And this fastball got away from him off the plate and not even catchable by Messias on the outside. So it's full count, brings the count full to John the Jet Taylor. Henry takes the sign, deals, payoff pitch. Fastball on the inside. Got Taylor swinging on his knees. 2nd strikeout for Henry, and he rings him up for the first out of the top of the 7th. The 6th strikeout by the Eagles in this ball game. So much history. Shane Spencer, notable alumni for the Eagles, played in the MLB for the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Rangers, Indians, and the Mets. Brian Giles, former right fielder for the Padres, Indians, and even Jimmy Johnson, 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, all alumni of Granite Hills. 2-2 ball game. Now the southpaw stepping in is Deuce Gorson, back to the top of the order. He'll take a ball on the inside for the first pitch that he sees in the top of the 7th. His 4th plate appearance. He has reached base 2 times on walks. The 2 walks have all been from Deuce Gorson. As he pops one up into the infield, Messias takes off his helmet and able to make the catch for out number 2. Was trying to keep track of the ball, trying to find it. And a big-time second out for Messias. And now Kian Vu, who scored the first run of the game and for the Pointers, steps into the batter's box and watches the fastball stuck in there on the inside for a strike. Flew out to center his last time up for Kian Vu. Tie ball game, top of the 7th, 2-2. Henry deals low and inside, and it's 1-1. The Eagles lost in the semifinals last season, playing one of the toughest divisions and leagues with Grossmont that's in the Open Division Championship game, as this 1-1 pitch is hit deep into left field and just goes foul down the 3rd base line. The Eagles had employed a little bit of a shift. Taylor was taking several steps to the left, Smith out in center a couple steps to the left, and Jabad a couple steps out and right. MacArthur at 3rd, Sauce short, Beeman at 2nd, Vilguth at 1st, Messias behind the dish, and the freshman, Chandler Henry, at the mound. Third inning of work. The freshman looking to keep this a tie ball game. Off speeder, was walking off the mound, thought that was the end of the inning, and the umpire said, not so fast, I'm calling out a ball. Looking for his third K of the afternoon is Chandler Henry. Toes the rubber, works out of the stretch, and this time got him swinging. Down the middle, nothing but air for Kian Vu, and Henry rings him up for the third strikeout of the afternoon. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Top-seeded Eagles with an opportunity to walk this thing off when we return. An opportunity for the top-seeded Granite Hills Eagles to walk this thing off. We have a tie ball game 2-2 as we head into the bottom of the seventh inning, and Blake Ledbetter deals a strike to now Alex Jabad. His third time up. Was struck out his last time up. The southpaw deals, and this is a soft line drive into right field for Alex Jabad, and the game-winning run is safely aboard for the Eagles. Alex Jabad with his first hit of the game. Jabad was batting .253 on the season, and now James Taylor, who reached bases last time up, scored the game-tying run. The bottom of the order, and now he's in trouble. Jabad, the throw from the dish goes over the head of Guzman. Garcia had Jabad in a pickle and overshot Guzman at second. That would have no doubtedly have been able to tag Jabad out, and instead the E2 gives the Eagles a runner in scoring position, the game-tying run, or the game-winning run, rather, in scoring position, Alex Jabad. Taylor took a strike over the middle, and it's 0-1. And this pitch gets off the glove of Garcia, able to track it down quickly. Taylor took a ball that missed up and away, and it's 1-1. Granite Hills in baseball last won a championship in 2014, beating La Costa Canyon 3-0. prior to that came in 2007, 1998, and 1994. So it's been a little bit since they've last won. The southpaw deals, and he fouls it back against the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jabad over at second base. A CIF Division I championship on the line. Point Loma and the Pointers haven't won a CIF San Diego section championship since 1982. 73 was their first, 82 was their last. Jabad with a big lead off at second. Ledbetter deals, and this one is a roller to first. Tagging the base is Nunes for 1 out. Jabad does advance to third base, so he's 90 feet away from home plate. The Eagles faithful very pleased with that, so a successful at-bat for James Taylor. It advances Jabad over to third after the line out to first. And now Austin Smith, perhaps arguably the MVP of this team. One of the best players, and they will not even give him a chance to take a hack at it. They intentionally walk him. I think that's the smart move. So he's intentionally walked. Jabad is over at third, and now Hudson Beeman will step on.
Now batting for the Eagles, second baseman Hudson Beeman.
So the Eagles have a runner 90 feet away from home plate to win the CIF Division I San Diego Section Championship. Ledbetter, entering a second inning of work, has given up 1 hit, but it's been a costly one. This pitch is a high fly ball into short center field. It will drop for a base hit. The throw to first to Vu is not in time. And Beeman delivers an RBI single. Jabad comes to score, and the Eagles have won the CIF San Diego Section Boys Division I Baseball Championship.
Final score of the Division I championship game. Eagles 3, Pointers 2.
3-2. An RBI single for Hudson Beeman. Drops into shallow center. Vu could not track it down in time. The throw to home was a little late. Jabad came in to score. And just like that, the Eagles complete the comeback. They trailed 2-0 in the top of the first. They chipped away, scoring 1 run in the bottom of the second, 1 run in the bottom of the fifth, and the game-winning run in the bottom of the 7th. And the 1 seed Granite Hills cap off what's been a tremendous season with a Division I championship. Hudson Beeman, what a performance for him. A clutch at bat. His 11th RBI on the year pays huge dividends. And the Eagles of Granite Hills, as the number 1 seed, able to redeem themselves after losing earlier this year to 2-seeded Point Loma. And the Pointers, they lost 5-0 earlier this year. They come back in the championship game, and they win 3-2. And they are your CIF San Diego Section Division I Boys Baseball Championships. For everyone who made this broadcast possible, Christian Pedersen for jumping on for color for a couple innings. My name is Jonah Malkin, signing off here at Poway High School. Coming up later, 8-seeded Eastlake and 3-seeded Grossmont in the Open Division Championships. That game will take place at 7 p.m. For everyone, once again, who made this broadcast possible, I'm Jonah Malkin, signing off here at Poway. The final score, 1-seed Granite Hills 3, 2-seeded Point Loma Pointers 2. Granite Hills and the Eagles, they are your CIF Division I San Diego Section Boys Baseball champions.